Can 1 million Zbcn coins turn into 100k in 2025? Yes. And I'm going to tell you why. So you want to stick around to the end. So you have some things to be bullish on. So, okay, Zbcn, 100 million tokens is quite realistic for most of you. I've been around in crypto for around 5 years. And there's no secret here. New coins in a hot sector that have never experienced a bull run outperform all the old coins. So I'm going to make an example here. So XRP in 2017, you compare its first bull run, it was at like the price of Zebec right now, and it reached like $3 in 2017. Now you compare XRP to what it's done this cycle, and yeah, it's done well, but you compare it to what it's done in the previous bull runs, and it doesn't even compare. XRP did over 100x, maybe 1000x. I'm not too sure. I was not around in 2017. I was around in 2020, and I saw Cardano explode. You know, did probably 100x. Polygon explode. I saw AVAX explode. Phantom explode. Gala Games explode. Polkadot explode. But you look at all these coins now, and you look at their charts. They're not performing well at all. Their first bull run, you know, there's new hype. They're in a hot sector, say like layer ones, for example. But it has never experienced a bull run. You know, Zbcn has been around since 2021, but it got rebranded in 2024. But it fits into RWA. I know it's deep in, but it fits into RWA because they focus on stablecoin payroll. And stablecoins is a real use case. You know, getting paid in stablecoins by the second. That's their use case. You know, imagine you getting paid your salary every week, every month. Well, in the current fiat system of payroll, that is slow and it costs a lot of fees. But stable coins is like a digital dollar. So USDC behaves like a digital dollar. I'm going to put this screenshot right here. USDC is pegged to the dollar. It has reserved treasuries. It's fully backed. But the benefit of this is that the stable coins can reduce a lot of fees, can reduce your fees. It's a lot faster and a lot cheaper than fiat alternatives. The world is going digital. Crypto was a great area until we got some regulation. We got a pro crypto administration in the US. Zebec is a US-based company as well, and I do think that is an advantage because the Genius Act that just got passed, that relates to stablecoins in the US. So that gives the green light for banks and financial institutions to issue their own backed stablecoins that are fully pegged. You know, that's what banks would do. But like I said, USDC is made by Circle, and Circle is an early backer of Zbcn. They invested in Zbcn in 2021 along with Coinbase Ventures, Solana Ventures, Breyer Capital, Lightspeed. But that's another good name as well. Coinbase Ventures. I don't know how that relates to Coinbase, but I'm pretty sure it does. Okay, Coinbase Ventures was an early backer. So that's the first point I wanted to get into. It's not listed on the tier 1 exchanges, okay? So we're missing, you know, we've got crypto.com, we've got OKX, I think we've got Bybit as well, Gate.io, some decent exchanges, but we're not on Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, Robinhood. I do think Zebec can still go to 10, probably 20 cents. It depends how bullish this market is, this bull run. I do think it can still go to 10 cents without the tier 1s, okay? If the hype is there, the team delivers, you know, they are actually doing lots of stuff in the real world, which they are. I still think it can go to 10 cents without it. You know, you want to get into the cryptos before the tier 1. You want to get in before everyone else. But it would benefit us because, you know, that would give us some volume. You know, Zebec is averaging around 10 to 20 million on the daily. So, you know, a Coinbase and Binance listing could pump us to like 200, 300 million volume. When we get to the second point, you know, we have this Zebec super app. It is in development and it is coming out this year. So their main focus of it is to bring more retail users. There's a lot of users coming onto crypto for the first time, and a lot of American users will be able to buy crypto for the first time. So that's their main objective, is to make the app simple and easy to use for a normal retail person. So they'll put their staking, their card products on there, and there's some benefits of Zbcn holders that you can unlock some product. But it's coming this year, and it's to generate more retail users. So they've said that it's going to be like a Revolut on steroids. But as you can tell, we're at 84,000 holders now. I'm pretty sure that with the super app, we could get to 100k holders. You want to get in before 100k. You know, what do you think is going to happen when we are at 100k holders? That's 16,000 more new users coming in. Another thing I want to talk about as well, which I've explained in my channel quite a lot, is that Zebec is getting ISO 222 by the end of the year. So they've bought a compliance firm, Gatenomix, which is a compliance firm which Zebec have bought to complete their compliance compliance roadmap, because with all the institutions and the governments and banks getting involved, compliance is a massive thing. 99% of all these cryptos, especially all these memes, are all going to die off and they'll never pump again. But Zebec is solving a real use case. They're solving payroll, which is like worth 11 trillion in annual volume. They are solving it in stablecoins. Like I said, stablecoins, it acts like a digital dollar, well, USDC, because it's fully pegged. It's a lot faster, cheaper, and more efficient. And that's where the world is going. If you can save costs, if a company can save costs in any way, that boosts their profitability. So that's why we've got the ISO standard coming in, because, you know, the Swift system of sending messages across the world, it's slow, it's outdated, it's expensive, it's been unchained. But the ISO standard is they can send messages across the world. There's no delay. It's completely feelers, and you can speak the same digital language with the banks and financial institutions. Now, that is a good certification to have, because not a lot of crypto firms have them. Ripple for XRP, Stellar Network, XTC, Quant, Algorand, Cardano, Chainlink. Pretty sure there's more as well, but these are like in the top 50 cryptos. So if Zebec can get ISO 222, which they are pushing for this year, and it rolls out in November 2025, I think on the 22nd, if they can get that, then they have separated themselves from most crypto projects, because that is not an easy standard to pass. You know, you got to go through so many audits, but that's good because they can communicate with the banks and financial institutions. Okay, so if the stablecoin narrative does come in, they've integrated USDC onto their card suite. They've integrated that new one, the MiCA compliant all unity stablecoin pegged to the euro. They can integrate way more stablecoins into their card suite, and you probably think, how does that benefit us? How does stablecoins benefit us? If they integrate more coins onto their cards, they've got over 150 coins on different chains. That's another thing. They're multi-chain, so they're not just focused on Solana. They are layer 2 on Solana, but they're multi-chain. They've been multi-chain since the start. They've integrated, you know, coins on their card suite. That's on BNB, ETH, SWI, Tron, and they've got 17 different blockchains, and they've been growing ever since. And it takes them, you know, a couple of weeks to do, where a lot of projects, when they integrate, takes months. So it's very easy for them. They've been multi-chain from the start. So if they're ISO 222 and they can communicate with the banks, and they're working with a lot of big financial institutions, banks, and they want to issue their own stablecoins, well, guess what? They can integrate into the card suite. The more monthly revenue they earn from their card, at the moment, I think they're at 57 million monthly revenue on their cards. They're aiming for around 100 million. But the more revenue they earn, that goes into token buybacks. If you don't know about what's going on with Zebec, you're new here, they have a token unlock every 16th of every month. We had a major one, last major one on September, where they released like 2% of the supply, and like half of it went to like the early contributors and the insiders, and half of it went to community and rewards. The more revenue they earn, the more they can spend on token buybacks, because they care about the Zebec ecosystem. It's a deflationary model. You know, they buy tokens, Zbcn tokens, and they remove them from circulation, like token burning. They're completely gone. I don't know how much they've done in total, but they've done quite a lot. Last one they've done was 60k. But like I said, they are aiming for 100 million volume, and the more revenue they earn from their cards, so like, you know, more stablecoin integrations, more meme coins they put on their cards on different chains. Like, all of these chains are like 96% of the total volume of crypto. You know, they're all tier 1 recognized, like especially ETH, Solana, BNB, SWI. That's pretty much most of the crypto. That's a benefit. They're multi-chain. There's too many layer 1s. They all think they're the best project. I don't think we're at that stage anymore where everyone cares about the layer 1s. You know, I do think multi-chain puts them in an advantage. That they separate themselves from the crowd. I don't know any other crypto project is doing what Zebec's doing. They focus on stablecoin payroll, but they are the original focus of stablecoin payroll. So even if another crypto firm tried to do what Zebec is doing, they were the first, and regulation and compliance takes a long time. So they're already ahead of the game. But like I said, they can integrate more stablecoins into their card, and obviously that would increase the card volume. They're aiming for 100 mil, and that's good for us because that increases the token buybacks. Okay, it depends on their revenue of their cards. Zebec's had some early backers. They have huge partnerships. Their team are so active. Like, I look on X every day, and they have announcement, and they're partnered with pretty much everyone. Like I said, it comes with their compliance. Okay, the more compliance checks they get, the bigger the partnerships can become. Your 1 mil can turn to 100k easily. Zebec reminds me of Crow. They both have the cards. Both of them have had marketing campaigns with sports. Another thing that's happening in full, Zebec Network is going to the NBA, and they're going to the NHL. Okay, what crypto project is advertising like that. That's huge marketing. That's going to bring more users knowing about Zebec and Uphold. Okay, they've got a marketing campaign this fall. So it's October now. Fall ends in November. So we've got October, November. That's happening soon. Crow was doing some marketing campaigns in MMA, and Zebec have already advertised themselves in European football. You know, a video right here. That will bring a lot more retail users and institutions into knowing about Zebec as a company, and they can advertise their card product. More people buying their card product, more revenue volume, more people using their products, of accepting stablecoin payroll. This is a financial shift, guys. You know, we are witnessing a financial shift in history, and you want to be in the right coins at the right time. 10 cents is absolutely possible. So if you've got $1 million now, I absolutely think you can hit 100k at the very minimum. But don't just wait for a magical price target. You know, get your initial investment out as early as possible. Okay, so if your investment doubles, triples, you know, take some out. Take like 10-20%. Take your initial. Crypto is a very risky game. You don't want to play the game of chess every time. You don't want to get your initial investment out. If you bought now and then you will not sell until 10 cents, well, you may not get 10 cents, but if you get close to it and you sold some and you made some profit, you know, you've won. You've done better than 90% of people in crypto. You know, learn from me in my previous bull run. Now, I round tripped a lot of gains, 6-figure gains. I'm not going to say how much I have now, but I could have had way more back then if I took some profits along the way. You know, don't get greedy, guys. Do not risk it. It's a risky game. But with all these catalysts, I do think 10 cents is on the table. But anyway, guys, I have a Discord, free Discord. We've got 200 members. Get in. If you got a question, come ask me a question. And anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one.